Greetings, denizens of the tri-state area. Jacob Weil here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
Dragon, I know what we're gonna do today. We're gonna activate the Recap-inator and discuss my favorite cartoon, Phineas and Ferb. That's right. In honor of the 15th anniversary and in preparation for the upcoming revival, I'm guiding Blue Dragon 5 here through the series, experiencing his reactions, watching it for the first time, and reliving my summer memories throughout the years. Today's episodes are Get That Bigfoot Out of My Face and Tree to Get Ready. So, Dragon, how you coming down?
On the episode?
Yes.
It's not a great week on it.
Hey, all right. I guess
I mean, it's a mixed bag. I think one was stronger than the other this week. But again, not a total loss. It's not like, let me this way. It's not as bad as the cow one.
All right, that's a fair point. But overall, you'd say it's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag. Not terrible, not truly bad, but it was a weaker week than previous.
All right. All right. I guess we can segue into the first episode then. If that Bigfoot out of my face. Is this good? I'm guessing this is probably the weaker link for you then.
Yeah, this was indeed the weaker link. I did not love this one. Obviously, I love the Doofenshmirtz plot. I will go as far as to say that. Rarely does the Doofenshmirtz plot not work, however. However, the camp. I gotta admit, when you look back on things, camp stories I feel lose their luster a lot when you look back at them. And this is one of those examples where this one, especially the fact it's not like a legit camp. It's just kind of recalling visiting grandma and grandpa camp. It's a little. I don't know. I think we kind of strive for unique, and then we got distracted with Bigfoot. I think we broke formula, which it's not a crime to break formula, but I think in breaking formula, we then kind of like we dovetailed back, and I don't think we said much about things after breaking formula with Canvas. So yeah, I mean, to me, it was just the. I don't know. It's just, honestly, this week felt like this is like one of those examples where it was like they kind of had like two short episodes, and they were kind of like just okay. Well, I don't know. It felt like we kind of shortchanged two episodes that didn't have a lot story wise, and we just kind of put them together and hope for the best. And the other one is we'll get to that when we get there. But yeah, it's just this one just felt a little half baked.
All right, that is a fair impression to have. I guess with him, obviously, when we will be seeing more of the grandpa and grandpa split and everything, we will be seeing more of them. But I can already guarantee that, and at least in my personal opinion, like the future episodes where we are there, they don't even refer to explicitly as camp. They are some of the future episodes are better than this one. I will give you that one. So, but again, I do understand where you're coming from. This isn't the most exciting episode in terms of the A plot. So, I mean, we don't really even see the boys do much of anything beyond like the little scare at the end. So, I do kind of see where you're coming from on that. So, all right. I do have two bits of background to share with this one. Like this is obviously the first appearance of Grandpa Clyde, of Phineas and Ferb's Grandpa Clyde, and his voice is provided by Barry Bostwick.
Wait, you sure about that?
Yeah. Sure about what?
That Barry Bostwick played the grandfather.
Dragon, I've been following the show since the late 2000s.
Let me ask you this: does Barry Bostwick sound like D. Bradley Baker to you?
I guess maybe, but I mean,
I'll tell you what. I'm just saying he sounded a lot like D. Bradley. I'll tell you, sure. I'm surprised. So.
Yeah, but it's Barry Bostwick. He's like, as I mentioned before, Dan and Zombie are big fans of Rocky horrors.
Cool.
And Barry Bostwick was in that. So, but yep, he's voiced by Barry Bostwick. And Betty Jo, and later, as we know, her twin sister Lorraine, are voiced by Carolyn Rhea, who also voices Phineas and Ferb's mom. So you might have picked up on that one just based on the voices alone.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And also, this is basically the first appearance of Ferb saying, "Actually, it doesn't appear much, but it does become kind of a semi-recurring thing, and it starts here. Like, I guess I can talk about the song when we get to that, but for now, that's it. As much of the background as I have. So I guess we can get into the actual episode then. What say you?
Sure.
All right, so they're on their way to camp, which is just a fancy word for Grandpa and Grandpa's cabin. So, and this is where they kind of the conceit, where you kind of already find the fault in the episode. It seems.
Yeah, well, honestly, it's. I think that the episode takes mate already. It's not an episode that has a lot going on where it's like, hey, we're always seeing Grandma and Grandpa. Okay, that's fine. They seem charming enough. He's doing they're doing the shtick that they like to do. Apparently, the whole Grandpa's playing around Phineas and doing the whole oh, I can't see it, that kind of thing. And Grandma's a lot of fun. I gotta give her that. It just feels like when we go to camp, Candace does not have anything to do, and I know they're kind of addressing that in the episode, but then we kind of give her something to do with the Bigfoot plotline. This feels like there wasn't really much, and then we just kind of we just kind of ended kind of I don't know. I'm not feeling the Candace stuff in this episode. Honestly, when Bigfoot enters the picture, it just feels really like, man, we really didn't have a lot to say. I mean, as Swampy did that camping episode too. That's what really hurts me about this one. Not Swan, Pavmeyer. Pavmeyer did that camp. Sorry. Pavmeyer did that camp. The camp. What?
Are you talking about the SpongeBob one?
Yeah, I'm talking about the SpongeBob one. Yeah, Pavmeyer.
The campfire episode, basically.
Yeah, I did the campfire episode.
Yep.
Say it feels a little kind of deflating when you think about that. It was just like, and he just threw Bigfoot at us, maybe like a musical bed, and there's Bigfoot. It's just like there's Sasquatchy kind of creatures rolling around here. It's like, well, I mean, not really. They're all entirely fake every time we see them, and I don't know. It just feels a little. I really could not. I could not get into it. I'm not really liking the whole what the boys are doing here. It's like, hey, we're playing camp counselor, and there's some limeade. I mean, the limeade's cute, but it's like it just feels like we're struggling to give everyone something to do, and then we get to hilariously when we do this with Doofenshmirtz. Well, we're struggling to see when we struggle to give him something to do. It's hilarious because we just throw our hands up in the air and do something random with them.
Oh yeah, Doofenshmirtz. Like you'll notice as it goes later on, like they start focusing a lot more on the Doofenshmirtz side of things.
Yeah, I think for good reason.
So, yeah, he's like one of the biggest draws to the show.
So let's talk about the major monogram in the academy.
It's like, of course, like Harry, of course, enters through a tree, which takes a while to get there, but it's like, and obviously the slide is still all cobwebby, and there's like a little pot in front of it. It's like, we haven't used a tree slide in years, not since I was at the academy.
And then we hear this haunting memory playing for monogram. Where it's just like, I think for some reason either he or his father are English, and he's like, Daddy, I don't want to go to the academy. It's just like, I'm not your father. And I love you, Daddy.
It's like he does bring up the academy, like at least once or twice again throughout the rest of the show. but I don't think we ever hear anything. We ever hear his dad's voice again,
It's been decided you're going to the academy.
I love you, Daddy.
I'm not your father.
Oh God!
Okay, let's talk about the real good stuff from this episode. Let's talk about Perry Platypus has been tasked with finding Doofenshmirtz, and we learned that the Perry Platypus, it's my week off. What are you doing here?
Like Perry the Platypus, how unexpected! And by unexpected, I mean unexpected. What are you doing here?
I just love putting Perry Platypus in this compromising situation where he realizes, oh yeah, I really am in the wrong here. I'm not. This is the wrong week. He hasn't done anything evil at all. What am I doing here? Monogram. This is why your father put you in the academy. So just the fact that apparently Doofenshmirtz, this is really nice. He's trying to get back out there. He's divorced from his wife. He's trying to get back out there. He's doing some online dating, and it's good for him. Giving it a shot. Obviously, did not find the right lady here. Clearly,
it's like like Perry tries to leave, but the date shows up before Perry's able to.
Then Doofenshmirtz is basically we have a sitcom situation comedy sort of thing going on here. But platypus, can you act like a mindless platypus?
And he's like,
Of course he does, because he does it all the time. Doorbell rings. And she's looking for Strudel Cutie number 4427.
and the date's actually voiced by Sandra Oh, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Yep, she voices the date.
Love it.
Yep. And of course she instantly takes a liking to Perry.
Yep. So I love this in the lineage of the Doofenshmirtz versus Perry Platypus here. You stole my date!
Basically, yes.
And then look, I won't get into the details, but the gritty reboot I think writes itself for that right there. We just use what's there, but just maybe go in more Howard the Duck direction. But that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
so,
oh god. I mean, the theme song is like the ladies swoon when they hear him say.
Yep, we've seen it.
Yep.
I do love the cucumber water gag, and I don't even like cucumber water.
Yeah, poor Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah,
I had to drink cucumber water for the sake of his date.
Like put this on the poster. The platypus stole my date.
It's like Dragon, what does it say when a platypus has more game than you do?
Says you got to reevaluate things, Jacob.
Yes, clearly.
So of course we have some nice cause and effect going on here. The kids are getting scared by the fake Sasquatch dummies that Phineas has made. Doofenshmirtz hears the cries of children and
it's not my birthday.
Always with the terrible birthdays with Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Well, I guess to improve it, he probably should have heard some screaming children.
By the way,
yeah.
While we did not get the jingle, we did get the doorbell.
Yeah, we actually do hear versions of his doorbell, and it is actually kind of similar to that.
Jacob, what's the doorbell sound like?
Doofenshmirtz.
It's Evil Incorporated.
Like, there's a later episode where he actually has a doorbell on a submarine, and then when the doorbell is rung, it actually sounds like that too.
Well, you know what that's a reference to, right?
No.
It's a reference to the old joke about, the screen door on a submarine.
No. I mean, I don't know if the episode I'm specifically referring to is a reference to screen door on a submarine, but.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, the old joke of like, why would you have this on a submarine, silly goose? And Biff from Back to the Future always got that joke wrong. Like, that's as funny as a screen door on a battleship.
It's like screen door on a submarine, you big dude.
Exactly.
It's like, now to make like a tree, get out
of here.
It's leave. Make like a tree and leave. You sound like a damn fool when you say it.
I love old Biff just correcting him on that, but we're drifting off focus. Anyway, Bigfoot.
You have to drift away from Biff.
Yes. So Candace is very brutally eaten by Bigfoot, which I was rather in shock about when I saw, like, oh my god, this episode may have turned around for a moment here. Egad, Candace has been eaten by a giant, real-looking Bigfoot, but lo and behold.
Well, we know in the gritty reboot it'd be a real Bigfoot.
Exactly. And Candace would survive, kids.
But horribly scarred and injured.
Exactly. It would be basically, remember the movie The Revenant? It would basically be that, only with Bigfoot.
Yeah, instead of a bear, she would obviously get eaten by a Bigfoot.
Yes, and then Phineas and Ferb would have to drag her through the woods, trying to get help, and then she'd be like going crazy and delusional and essentially becoming rabid.
And the only difference is that it also take place during the summer instead of it'd be the winter. It'd be the summer heat instead of the winter cold, driving them insane.
Exactly.
So that's how the gritty reboot would work in this.
Yes. So Lorraine, let's talk about Grandma's identical twin, Lorraine.
So they thought she was inflatable. That she was inflatable after the whole inflatable Ferb gag.
Yep.
So it's like, oh no, I'm just your grandmother's twin. I only come out once a year in case they need help pranking somebody.
I'll see you next year, and just goes back to the closet.
He's like, yeah, baby, you're locked in your closet.
Which, I mean, we don't even have to write the grid reboot on that. That's already horrifying as is. Just the fact, like, I'm just going to wait here in my closet for a year. Hope they bring food.
Well, she seems to be doing it willingly, so.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it's a nice closet.
Did you see that cabinet? It seems it probably would be a nice closet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it might be like that. Might be like that scene from Futurama, where the closet of the apartment is the giant luxurious apartment.
Yep. Humans.
Yep. I want to live in a closet.
Humans.
All right.
But yes. He said, who knows? Maybe it is a nice closet. Maybe there's like a full grown entertainment. There's a full entertainment center in there with like the snacks and stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyway, so yes, this is also really funny too. We learned that one of Doofenshmirtz's last date, what happened with her.
It's not the worst date I've ever had. There was the one that kept stabbing me with a fork.
That's an episode I want to see. I want to see how that went. Dear God.
Well, I mean, if this is if being confused for Bigfoot and being knocked with a purse and falling down rocks and stairs and into a trap is considered better, it's considered better than the stabbing with a fork.
Well, yeah. I mean, I want to see. Honestly, I just want to see is the idea of like, why are you stabbing me? What did I do? Ow, ow! It's not even. It's a plastic. It's a plastic fork. Stop it.
Maybe that'll be the gritty reboot.
Well, yeah, the gritty reboot would be a metal fork, but yeah.
Exactly. We get to see going for his eyes and stuff.
So I think the end of the episode, like the overreacting of Candace, that I think hurt the episode if it was gaining any traction. Like ultimately, it's the idea that in the background we're seeing Candace run around from something that we've already established. I mean, Doofenshmirtz, they made a full, awesome looking Bigfoot, and very much just a man in green leaves. Even in the distance, even if he is being followed by the things that they've established were fake. I'm by it.
Yeah, I think it was just a way to get a last minute joke in.
I mean, even so, I don't know. I think Candace should have gotten the win.
Now, there are episodes where she does get a win, but this isn't that yet.
I do love Buford saying, "I smell ham," and Perry the Platypus with all the lipstick marks.
Hey,
Dear
Perry,
God.
why are you covered in lipstick?
See, out of context, that would be horrifying. But
It's like, well, hey.
Leah Thompson, you were in this episode? No, Sandra Oh.
Oh, God.
This was Sandra Oh. Anyway.
Yep. So I can see where you're coming down on that one. I mean, it's not. I'll definitely say like of the and even as Awkward Ted says, I get this one confused with another episode later on in the season.
There's not a lot to it, It's just camp, grandparents, and then Doofenshmirtz steals the show as he usually tends to do.
There's a later episode called The Ballad of Badbeard, which takes place there, and that's actually, I think, is an improvement over this one.
Okay.
It doesn't really focus on the camp aspect. It's kind of like a pirate theme.
Right.
So I don't remember exactly the episode counter on this, but we will be getting to that later this season, and obviously we do see them in the next few seasons as well. And should I go into the stuff about the song, like who was like and stuff like that, or do you have an opinion? Do we have an opinion on the song or anything? Like it's just called Bigfoot.
Yeah, just who sings the song?
Barry Bostwick as Clyde.
Okay.
And the songwriters were Bobby Gaylor, Jess Swampy Marsh, Martin Olson, and Dan Povenmire. Like the wiki they're actually registered like the BMI and stuff like that, and it actually lists the songwriters. And also, according to the wiki, it says the song's similar in rhythm to the song "Spring Cleaning" from Zanzibar. Do you see that?
No.
I said the wiki didn't outright confirm it. Apparently, it was just like someone's personal opinion. I thought it'd be interesting to share and ask it just in case you were, because you're familiar with Zanzibar, so
yeah.
All right. So I guess since that's the last of it, I guess we can move on to episode you have stronger opinions on. Tree to Get Ready.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Although this one was a lot of fun. I'll admit, this episode, while I like it, there is a tightrope walk with the gross out stuff. There is. Which I'll get to. And I think ultimately there's on the side of still being pretty good. But, I think there's one joke at the very end. It's like, I think we were balancing and then maybe we took a step too far. But anyway, so we break
to be fair, the show really doesn't go into gross out humor that much.
I would hope so. So, anyway, so this episode breaks for me in a way I was looking for. It's the more I was looking for than the way we were trying to break it with Candace in the previous one. So that was good.
Like basically in the way that actually Candace doesn't even try to get them in trouble this episode.
Yeah.
Like she threatens at first, but then when she gets into it, she doesn't even consider calling Linda again. I mean, so is that kind of what you mean on with Candace?
Well, what do you mean?
Like the fact that she didn't try to get them in trouble.
Yeah. The fact that she didn't try to get him in trouble for a change. Yeah.
So yeah, and honestly, it's like giant robots fighting each other. You have to admit that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
How about giant treehouse robots fighting each other?
Getting better.
Exactly. I mean, treehouses are cool. Giant robots are cool.
I gotta be honest, Jacob. It was kind of one of those situations. This is not a knock. I think on the rewatch, I liked it more. It was just kind of one of those things where, man, I'm loving the treehouse as is. I don't even need them to fight. And then they fought. It's like, okay, this is getting kind of better. I mean, I don't know if we need both, but I guess then you look on the rewatch. Oh, the escalation works. It's pretty good.
It's like, yeah, I mean, there's all the bells and whistles. Actually, the pun is included in there.
Yep, I love that. Now, here's the thing: the mistake of the episode would have been they didn't do this. Thank goodness. Had Candace's treehouse gotten destroyed, I would have been really against the episode morally. It's just like, come on, man, that's not fair.
Unfortunately, we never see the treehouses again.
Real, both of them?
Well, unless we count like them being brought back for the battle across the second dimension.
No, but you're saying throughout the show, like no treehouses ever again.
No treehouses ever again.
Dang it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But as I said, I mean, you've seen across the second dimension.
Yeah.
But they are brought. But technically, we do see them again.
Yeah.
In that sense, but
yeah.
But unfortunately, we never actually get to see the actual tree houses ever again, which is unfortunate. And as some minor background for this one, this is the first time Dr. Doofenshmirtz sings,
and it's glorious.
Yep, a lot of his numbers are actually end up being these big band Broadway style musical numbers.
Jacob, every time I wonder how could I love Dr. Doofenshmirtz of Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated even more. Lo and behold, he can sing.
And like I said, a lot of his musical numbers are like Broadway style related. Like there's even one song in season 4 that's inspired by Minnie the Moocher from the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, it's great.
So, and also the first appearance of Roger Doofenshmirtz, his brother.
Oh yes, that I did notice.
All right. And again, like the song itself. Let's see, where did I put this? The song "My Goody Two Shoes Brother" was obviously performed by Dan Povenmire as Dr. Doofenshmirtz, written by Povenmire, John B. Marsh, Pon Olsen, Bobby Gaylor, and Danny Jacob. I figured that'd be like a good way to bring background in. So, anyway, I think we could get into the episode now. So it begins with Candace and Stacy playing this robot wrestling game, which actually does seem pretty fun if you look at it. What do you think of it? What do you make of that?
Make of the game that they're playing?
Yeah.
No, I like the idea. It was kind of like it's basically Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but as a fighting game. It's pretty fun.
It's actually kind of like 2 wrestling / boxing episodes we've gotten recently.
Yeah.
So I won.
Yeah, I tell you, man, it just kind of occurs to me now. One episode we had Sandro, and now we have Kelly Hu. It's a shame we couldn't have gotten them to cross over a little bit.
What exactly is the crossover you're looking for?
I don't know. Honestly, I just want to see Kelly Hu interact with Sandro and something. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, nothing but really beyond that. Just
No, I mean, I don't even. That would be pretty cool.
I'm saying I like them both individually. I've never thought about putting them in the same room together and seeing what happens, acting wise. But
I mean, it would be interesting. And honestly, I don't think we see Sandro in this show ever again. And obviously, Kelly, who is a recurring and obviously Stacy's a recurring character on this show.
Yeah, but let's face it, Sandra, she's got nothing going on in her career. She'll never amount to anything. Never. I mean, she'll never be like a stand-up part of a Pixar movie. She'll never get a show. She'll never get like a 4-season show. It's really good. She'll never do anything. Nada. She'll just fade into obscurity. Sandra. Oh, Sandra. Yeah, we heard all about her. No, it's a shame. Anyway.
And not to mention being like one of the main characters on Grey's Anatomy for many years.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Pshaw.
Okay, so we get an early clue as to what Phineas and Ferb are working on when they say, I guess it would make a sound.
Yeah.
And we just cut to Perry the platypus.
That's what I'm saying. It does feel like we did sidestep some stuff because we had to sile this one with another episode. Like, okay, well, we got to do the Bigfoot episode, and then it's going to cut down. And it's basically then we're going to cut down Phineas and Ferb, just get straight to the action, no setup, get straight to the platypus. Give me the platypus in the hat, kids.
I mean, to be fair, that is one of the things we're here for.
That's true.
Pigeons have disappeared, but then on the plus side, Monogram hasn't had to wash his car in weeks.
I love that joke, by the way, because it's so relatable. It's like, oh god, always the pigeons.
It's like, yep. I don't even have a car, but I know the pains of it.
Yep.
It's like it always after you just wash it too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, okay, let's see. So, let's talk about the Doofenshmirtz plot this time, Jacob.
So at Doofenshmirtz
Evil Incorporated.
So basically, we see that Perry can parallel park, so he's pretty skilled at parallel parking.
I know how sweet was that move when he just spun into that thing.
He spun into it and jumped out of it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Perry's got the moves.
But you know what though, he didn't need to do that. It was great. I like it. I appreciate it. I'm just saying, you know what? Just who's Perry showing off for at a certain point? You gotta wonder. It's like Perry, no one else is. Or you can't just.
I mean, you know what they say: if you've got it, flaunt it, right?
Well, yeah, but literally, there's no one there to flaunt it to. It's just he could have just kind of like imagine another version of this scene. Where he drives up. And we just dedicated like a minute to like, okay, he's looking behind his shoulder, he's checking his mirror, he's getting in there, and it's a really tight space, so it'll take him forever, realistically.
I mean, Dragon, what would you rather see? Him learning, like, attempting to like go back and forth to parallel park, or him like executing this fantastical maneuver, stopping him and at the same time launching himself out of the vehicle? Which one would you rather see?
Honestly,
yeah,
both.
Yeah, that's fair.
Honestly, both. But you're right. If we had to pick one, it's like, okay, we're gonna do two. Okay, Perry, listen. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna film 2 takes on this scene. I want you to do one where it's like James Bond. We're gonna do the other one where it's Larry David. Okay, James Bond, Larry David, of course. Anyway, but yeah, but you're right though. We gotta go with the James Bond take. We gotta go with like the perfect kind of parking space gag.
I mean, and that's not to say like Perry doesn't provide his own moments of comedy, but usually he stands more on the rule of cool side of things than rule of comedy.
Of course. So
but of course, Doofenshmirtz's plan, which actually included Vanessa, making her first full return since a brief cameo in Swinter.
Yeah, this is great. I love like the introductions. Part of the platypus, Vanessa, part of the platypus.
Yeah. Like so, his idea. So basically, his idea. After the first time, he doesn't even notice Perry's there. He's like, "Oh, pretty good idea, eh, Perry the platypus."
Does a spit take with the coffee and everything.
Quick, before you do that clearly marked exit.
I love that Doofenshmirtz, despite being evil, he does care about building codes and such. Where it's like, yeah, you have to have the exit sign, make sure it's clearly posted, so in an emergency, everyone can leave in an orderly fashion. Yeah, he's not evil. Like, you'll never find the exit by the platypus.
Yeah, it's like sometimes he's that way to a fault.
Of course, but it's why we love him. Darn it!
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying.
No one's saying anyone's wrong. I'm just saying that's great.
Like now, I kind of would. I put that as our Sandro point. Now I kind of want to see Sandro have a prominent role in the new seasons.
Right.
Like that. I honestly don't think we will because it was like
heck no.
But it would be pretty interesting if they did bring her back.
Yeah. But again, not like she's really doing anything these days. So let's give her. Let's throw her a little bit. So, folks, network executives, if you're listening, Sandra Oh, she's too proud to ask for it. She needs help, guys, and we gotta give it to her because you know what? She's too dark. She's got bags of untapped potential. I know you haven't seen it. I'm gonna need you to go out on a limb with me here. You gotta have a little faith. Sandra Oh will endure. We just gotta. We gotta give her a shot. We gotta give her time in the spotlight. We gotta let that little tree grow, man. We gotta. It's just gonna be all bent and curvy at it if she's in the shadow of the others. We gotta give her her shot, my friends.
All right then.
Say, oh, Sandra, I know what to put her in. Anyway,
saying so, but as I was going forward,
yeah.
Doofenshmirtz's plan is to basically use what he calls the Poop-inator.
Yeah.
Which is a rather unfortunate name, but he plans to basically use basically subliminal messages, subliminal images to hypnotize pigeons to poop on his brother.
Let me just make a note here. Kind of dips into the Great Reboot slightly here, but just to say in general, thank goodness this device, at least, dear God, I hope this device only works on pigeons, because if it didn't, just imagine the havoc that this device would literally wreak in the hands of in more evil hands. That's what I'm saying. Like, if for any Better Call Saul fans out there, this would be Chicago sunroofs out the yin yang. You again have this device been kind of monopolized and used by evil people, just like your enemies. It's like, no pigeons around, go do my bidding, and my bidding requires the sports section.
He's able to disturb these pigeons on the rooftops.
Yes. So basically, it just gives them like a target to aim. Basically, it makes anyone would kind of, I guess, give them the suggestion that their target is a statue. Yeah. Do you remember that episode, Jacob? How familiar are you with Rocko's Modern Life? Have you seen all the episodes? Do you recall it well?
I'm not overly familiar with it. I've seen like several episodes of the first few seasons.
That's what I thought. We did that list ranking a while back. I don't recall it being on your list, so that tracks.
Yeah, it was on my list.
Oh, it was. Hell, yeah.
I think it was just in the top 20 though.
Okay, well, never mind then. Regardless, my point is there was an episode of Rocky's Modern Life where Filbert has like bad luck, or he's just having a really bad. I think he had bad luck, and you had this pigeon, which I think was either a combination of Bobcat Goldthwait or John Travolta. I think it was Bobcat Goldthwait mainly, because he was basically doing this thing basically as if he were like a gunman or a mad bomber. He's like around the statue. And he's threatening. I'll do it, man. I'll do it. And then, of course, it's like Filbert comes along when the really, really big man is doing his gaze into my nipples of the future, and he's doing the nipple thing, and basically says, "I can see myself. I'm on bro." And then, of course, Filbert walks in, and he screws up the whole thing, and it's this whole thing of, "It's a trick, man. You tried to trick me." And then, of course, he does it. Thank goodness, off screen. But yeah.
Okay then.
So my point is, so that's like when I'm thinking like like we're weaponizing pigeon goo, to put it tastefully. I that was where my mind went to.
I can definitely say I don't remember that particular episode of Rocko's.
It's interesting because Poffenmeyer also worked on that.
He worked on that specific episode?
I don't know if he worked on that. That's the thing. If you think about it, Poffenmeyer worked on Hey Arnold, and he worked on Rocko's Modern Life, and both of those shows have pigeon goo gags.
Although I do know he did at least work on the Pigeon Man episode.
I know he didn't work on that, but I meant the other two episodes in which there's an episode with the parrot, and there's the episode where Arnold's hat, where Helga is plagued by those pigeons. And I checked. He did not work on those episodes, at least not credited working on those episodes. I just think it's kind of odd, because I was thinking about that. Wait a minute, does Poffenmeyer have something he wants to tell us?
like that is something I've been kind of wanting to ask. Actually, is like, like you said I think you said like during one of the first episodes, like you were like familiar with his name, and then like that you heard he created a show, and then found out there was this. Like,
Yeah.
how exactly did you become familiar with his work like enough to recognize his name, and then come back to realize, oh, he did Phineas and Ferb?
Well, the thing I knew Povenmire by name through Family Guy, but I guess subliminally I'd seen his name pop up on the title cards of Rocco, and then I didn't know he had worked on Hey Arnold. That I found out just kind of like in preparation before we did anything here. But yeah, I mean, I knew when I had gone through episodes, mainly when we did our animation, right? I think became blatantly aware, like, oh, Povenmire really was on everything, not just the like Family Guy and Rocco. He was like on Hey Arnold, did a whole bunch of other stuff too. But yeah, the thing is, I knew Povenmire when he made the move. Well, I knew him by name because he'd be mentioned on the behind the scenes stuff on Family Guy. Like, this is him, when he was working on things, and he left roughly, I'd probably imagine after probably after season 5 of Family Guy is when he left to do Phineas and Ferb, roughly.
And he's been there ever since.
Exactly.
Like that's it, because as I said, I wasn't as familiar with the behind the scenes stuff as you were.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize his name, and like I was obviously got to there's name here, and then I went back and it was like, and I started seeing his name and like obviously like Family Guy, and then like obviously Rocco's Hey Arnold, SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like.
So honestly, it was kind of like that. It was like Family Guy. I'd seen the name a bunch of Family Guy, and then I saw that SpongeBob gag, which then connected the dots of like, oh yeah, he did that SpongeBob episode, which then brought me to the Nickelodeon side of things, then triggered the Rocco response. And anyway,
he also briefly did some work at Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So, I think I was gonna wait. I was gonna wait to ask that for next week's episode, but since you brought that up here, I thought it'd be a good place to ask that.
Right. So let's talk about the highlight of this whole week. Let's talk about the vaudevillian, delightful vaudevillian song.
My goody two-shoes brother.
Oh, okay, let's see. I think it's my goody two-shoes brother, the favorite of my mother. And I love Vanessa doing like the kicks, like the little kick in the chair.
Like while she's sitting it.
Yeah, doing the Rockettes thing, and she's doing like a little half kind of lazy kick while she's in the chair.
Yep, flexibility.
It's great.
It's like this. Basically, talking about all kinds of stuff that he finds that he doesn't like.
I know. So such like taxi drivers, meter maids, underwater welders, camera crews,
bellhops,
whole bunch.
And even was like, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about you.
And of course, the Vanessa's like, I like Uncle Roger. Well, yes, Vanessa, but no one asked you.
Is your name Perry the Platypus?
He's not wrong. It's like, Vanessa, you're kind of cramping my whole thing right now. Just zip it.
I like Uncle Roger.
We all like Uncle Roger, but not Papa Doofenshmirtz.
And you kind of understand why he has why he has some resentment towards Roger.
Well, not quite, yeah. Right now, we're just getting a visual idea. Well, one, if your brother were John, I think we'd all be jealous of John O'Hurley if he were our brother. Let's face it. I mean, I would be insanely jealous. Like, why does he get all the good stuff? Why does he get he gets like the cool voice, the cool hair? He looks great. Like,
And you're familiar with him through like Seinfeld and other stuff, right?
Yep, from Seinfeld and SpongeBob, and yeah, I love John O'Hurley. Yeah.
Like he was like the original King Neptune, right?
He was the original King Neptune, yes.
He's like, behold!
Yep, I love that episode. The like whoever pulls the spatula from the greasy.
The Fry Cook Games. Not the Fry Cook Games.
No, not the Fry. They went to the Fry Cook Museum and they pulled out the.
Yeah, technically the Fry Cook Games is another Povenmire episode.
Oh, cool.
So with that unintentional reference, but there you go.
Oh, Pavi.
Yes, but yes, I do like that episode too. Like the whole, like he opens like your reward will be great. Behold, and it's Tom Kenny in the shower.
Yep. Oopsie.
Now behold.
Anyway.
But yes, but for obvious reasons, you can see why Doofenshmirtz would be jealous of Roger.
Yeah, and very successful getting the key to the city.
And then at the end of the season, he becomes the mayor, which, I mean, you already knew that based on based on like across second dimension and seeing and seeing Night of the Living Pharmacist. So that's not really a spoiler or anything.
Yeah.
But so essentially his plan, as he reveals in this big band, larger than life musical number, is this plan. So it's a great bombastic, eloquent song about covering his brother in pigeon poop. You gotta love it, right?
Yeah. Again, it's I love how tastefully we got around the poop thing with pigeon goo, and he's throwing paint into the screen, so kind of like you're communicating everything you need to.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm of two minds about the pigeon thing here, because on one hand it's like, oh man, do we need to see the pigeons do the thing, which we see in the test run, then of course at the very end of the post credit thing. But by the same token, though, again, it's like, well, we have seen Hey Arnold, we have done it there, we've done it. So I can't really throw a stone there, because it's like, Helga got like covered in that stuff.
Oh, poor Helga.
Yeah,
unless she deserved it in that episode.
Well, I mean, she took the hat, but then she endeavored to get the hat back after it was accidentally thrown away. She did, subject herself to a lot of pigeon goo.
Oh.
So I don't know. I guess it kind of balanced out. The parrot, though. Well, then again, do you think the parrot justifiably should have died in that one Hey Arnold episode?
I don't know what episode you're talking about.
Okay. Anyway,
so I'll watch the episode. I'll try to get to that episode and then get back to you on it.
Okay.
You'll have to ask me if I've seen it yet.
All right. Anyway, so the point being, we have the Poop-inator, which again, let me tell you about the gritty reboot version of this episode. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
But basically, you're in charge of all the gritty reboot stuff.
Well, you can do it.
I know, but you seem to be coming out. I can just add on to it in this one, I guess, as I did come up with.
Well, honestly, this one's a running gag, so I feel like I have to do at least once per episode. I already did, so I don't have to do it here, but I figured you want once per segment. But
I mean, we can, so go on. I'll just try and think of one myself.
Yeah. So, Doofenshmirtz has the ultimate revenge on Perry the Platypus. He's going to use him as the instrument of destruction. So he hits him. He hits him with the Poop-inator and targets Roger.
Oh no.
Yep. And let's just say, it's let's just say when he's broken free of the control, it's too late.
No. There's a paradise that Doofenshmirtz does actually succeed.
Yeah, he succeeds, but then he's instantly regretful, like, oh God, what did I do?
What did I do? That was a mistake. I should have stuck with the pigeons.
Or they far. Do you want to know the more twisted version, like the worst? Oh God, this is 20 times worse. I don't know if you want to hear this.
Go on.
Okay, Perry gets, as he does in the episode. Perry does get the device, but instead of the pigeons,
he uses the audience.
No. He uses Doofenshmirtz, so he does his own dirty work.
Oh no!
So you have just the like Roger. Dear God, Hines, what are you doing? Oh God! Oh Lord, man, what have you done? And all the audience is like, oh God! There's like the paparazzi's like taking the press is like taking pictures, and it's like the number 2, Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz, number 2 brother after all.
Oh God!
Or just Doofenshmirtz of Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated does something truly evil, underhanded, and didn't even wash his hands.
How dare he not wash his hands?
This course leads the new revenge quest for Doofenshmirtz. By the Platypus, you humiliated me. I'm going to get you, and I'm going to use the Poop-inator.
Oh God!
Anyway,
all right.
So aristocrats shenanigans aside here.
Okay, I think it's time to talk about the tree houses.
Yes.
Before we get to the denouement of Doofenshmirtz. Denouement, how do you pronounce that?
Yes.
I've heard it pronounced many ways. I don't know.
Really? I've always heard it pronounced denouement.
I've heard denouement, I've heard denouement, I've heard other stuff.
I've never heard denouement in my life. This is the first time I'm ever hearing it, but we're gonna talk about the tree houses.
I'll trust you. I'll trust your judgment in this case.
Okay, so Candace and Stacy have been playing their game, and Phineas and Ferb, they decided, while that's going on, they have decided to basically remodel their treehouse into this swanky bachelor pad. Man, that's awesome.
They like basically both of their tree houses are nicer than my apartment.
Yeah, right?
It's like, yeah, I'd like to live in a tree house like that.
I know, yeah.
I mean, it has like a fully stocked snacks, home entertainment centers, bells and whistles. What more could you ask for?
I haven't seen a treehouse that nice since that episode of Hey Arnold.
Again, I'm sure did Hey Arnold's have all that stuff?
I mean, it was. I mean, it wasn't. Look, obviously, it wasn't like multiple stories within like the one treehouse, but it was. They put a bunch. There was a kitchen sink in it, man.
Wow, that's impressive.
It was nice. I mean, it was realistically nice. It's like in theory, you could have all that stuff in there. In theory, I mean, obviously, the piping would be a matter. You have to really think of. You have to put that's cartoon logic, mind you. But aside from that, pretty impressive. It's seemingly achievable. At least it would delude the young mind into thinking it was achievable.
I mean, if you got the right contractor, it could work.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, sure. It was a lot more practical than giant fighting tree houses. Mind you, this was cool though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like, well, of course, like in order to get Isabella, obviously, of course, comes by, and like this is like that they decide to take the tube to get to the top. Like, we haven't missed yet. You're the first one to go through.
What? And then she slingshotted all the way to the top. They're having a good laugh about it. Then they see Candace's poor remnant of an old treehouse she has completely abandoned. They decide to remodel it for her and turn it into a swanky bachelorette pad.
Which, of course, is like carpets, furniture, entertainment center, bells and whistles.
And I'm thinking, like, Candace, why the heck would you rat on your brothers after doing something? And thank goodness she did, because it would have been a huge logic thing. Like, come on, man, look at what nice thing they did for you here.
Like, well, to be fair, she thought of doing that before she saw the inside of the treehouse.
That's what I'm saying. So thank goodness they did not do that.
And even she got in on the whole treehouse action.
I know, right? It was great. That's what I'm talking about. This is where we're going to change up formula. This is the way to do it. It makes sense.
It's like so the boys tell her to try the THF button, which she actually asked if it was like this. It's like a sound system.
Yep, like THX.
Yes, but when they both push the button, it turns into the giant treehouse robots.
You know what would have been even better?
What?
If it made the sound. Yeah, like the THX sound. If it made that sound when it turns on, it would have been amazing.
I think that's like there's a copyright issue involved with that.
Yeah, it's weird how that works.
But either way, it's like, did you guys honestly think that Phineas and Ferb would settle for simple tree houses?
Yeah, so they basically wrestle like her game in these giant tree houses. And I like how the tree houses have like kind of safe weapons. So like they're shooting shooting water balloons and stuff at each other, and the houses can talk, and they like the two windows. And pretty much it's Pacific Rim, but stateside.
Yes, and this actually predates the Pacific Rim by several years.
Yeah, no, obviously the God knows how many mech animes and everything before that, but yes,
I know it, and even has the whole two pilots thing.
But much like Pacific Rim, yes.
Yep. So it's like Guillermo del Toro, you have something you want to tell us?
So I like Phineas and Ferb. So what?
It's like, okay.
I did a whole animated movie about a little wooden boy that's probably going to win the Oscar. What do you want from me?
I'm just kidding anyway.
Yeah. Well, don't tell me. Tell Guillermo.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go against Guillermo. I mean, he's great at what he does.
All right. So,
but anyways, like we actually get to see the tussle, and they go to like this other guy's yard, and he looks at the plant food that he's giving his plants. Like he thinks, like, did my stuff do that?
It really works.
And Stacy and Candace actually get kind of get a heads up on Phineas and Ferb and decide to like do like a lunar throw with them.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as they're about to crash into a building, they hit the crash button, which all hilarity just covers them in a bunch of protective inner tubes.
Hey, it worked for Free Guy.
And it clearly works for them too.
Yeah.
Now we have Sean Levy ripping them off.
Yep.
And basically, I'd say Phineas and Ferb were ahead of their time.
Yep.
Yeah.
What year did this episode come out anyway?
2008.
About 13 years, roughly. I guess 10, 13 years.
Yep. What can you say? Those boys were ahead of the times.
Right.
Like as he said, like water balloons, bouncy ball cannons. Not to mention all the different costumes that Phineas and Ferb switch into,
Oh yeah.
including first very very impressive impression of a chicken.
Yep.
So when they decide to head back home, and race home, where they're going to be purple pickled eggs or whatever. But now we can get back to the pigeons. So.
Yes. So the pigeons. So of course, we shoot a little grappling line out there for the pigeons to perch on and basically take aim, and then Perry, of course, he escapes.
He gets away, and then the pigeons are confused as to how he escaped.
Yeah.
To be fair, pigeons really probably aren't the best guards.
Then Perry the Platypus does his duty, and he grabs the device and he redirects it to, instead of targeting Roger, targets old Doofenshmirtz, old Heine.
It is kind of interesting that when we're talking about Roger, we call him Roger, and we call him obviously Heinz. We just call him Doofenshmirtz. Even
we could call him Heine for short, but Doofenshmirtz.
Even though they're technically both, along with Vanessa, they're all Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah.
But we just call him Heinz just Doofenshmirtz, not even just Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Yep.
I just thought, I guess it's easy. I guess it's more fun to say than just Heinz.
Yeah.
So, but it's like he basically puts Doofenshmirtz's image into the Poopinator, and
it's kind of telling that he would have that on file, though. He would always have that Doofenshmirtz picture in his hat.
Well, I mean, Barry's always prepared.
He is.
Are you surprised that he has one?
Not particularly when you mention it like that. So of course Vanessa's like, you know what? Oh, this is. I should. Well, I guess earlier she said I should have done summer school.
It's like, this is what you get for using stupid pigeons.
Of course, she gets into the elevator and then does not hold it for her father, and Doofenshmirtz is just running in terror as he tries to close the elevator, but he does not get in time. And here's the thing: so I liked how initially tastefully this was done, where the pigeons they flock in there. And the moral of the episodes there were like, okay, well, he did plot, as he says so perfectly, get ready to witness a truly petty act of vengeance, Perry the Platypus. So all the pigeons flock in there, and we hear the splatting sound, which that to me, that's all we need. And I was like, you know what? Good on you, man. You didn't show it. We heard it. We know what happens. We had like a whole song about it. We're all good, man. We got it. And we do the post-credit thing, which, I honestly, at this point, I have too much sympathy for Dr. Doofenshmirtz, where it's like, I don't need to see him covered in pigeon goo, man. I mean, I think, his brother shouldn't have gotten covered either, but, I don't need to see Doofenshmirtz backfired that badly, because, I mean, last episode, Perry ruined his date. That was Perry's fault. even if she was very easily distracted by platypus, so it would never work. But
I mean, he's a cute platypus.
I mean, yeah, he is. Yeah, especially in the hat.
Well, she didn't see him with the hat.
I know that's the thing, though, which is I think she's had a platypus thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm saying I think she was ridiculously all over the platypus, man. Okay, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think the platypus has charm? Do you think there's cute appeal with the real life platypus, or just the cartoon platypus?
I mean, have you actually seen a real life platypus?
I mean, not in person, but I have seen a picture of one. I've seen them before. I know what they look like. But that's what I'm asking. Like, what do you think? Is there a cute appeal there? Or?
I mean, there's some kind of Perry's definitely cuter than a real world platypus is, but
yeah,
there's still kind of like an ugly cute when you look at a platypus.
I mean, like real life platypus, nowhere near as cuddly as Perry the Platypus, right?
No, not really.
That's what I thought.
And as Dan's actually pointed out, like he initially designed him as teal and stuff like that as teal, just to be eye catching. But years later, they actually learned that they have some kind of biofluorescence thing where under certain dark lights, they actually can glow teal green.
Huh. What do you know?
And also, it's Yeah, obviously you know that Perry's vocals are provided by D. Bradley Baker, right?
Yeah.
It's like the thing is, he didn't actually do any research onto how platypuses actually sound. He just like saw the design, just like thought of what kind of noise it would make, and just kind of went with that kind of noise.
See, this is why D. Bradley Baker is a professional, kids.
Yep. But as it turns out, that go listen to an actual platypus noise. It's actually very similar to how Perry sounds.
He's very intuitive.
Yep, and it's an entirely on accident. It's like they just did the vocals. They basically just made that stuff up. Dave and Swampy just basically made that stuff up for Perry, and it turned out to somewhat be true. It's amazing if you think about it that way. But like I said, I've never actually seen a real life platypus either. Just seen pictures, but they are kind of cute in a way. But as you said, not as cuddly as Perry. Perry has like a nice like little bread box shape, and it's just so adorable. Anyway, the Treehouse Robots trip themselves over Doofenshmirtz's zip line and takes Perry in tow.
Yep.
Bringing it all home.
Bring it all home. Bring it around town.
Bring it around town.
Of course, the tree houses tumble. They're all fully assembled. Linda is like wondering, I wonder why Candace hasn't called me. And then, of course, brings her back to the Ferris Bueller thing. Like they got to race home. And the boys get water balloons. Just, as Candace like, no, we got here first, man.
It's like, fun never falls too far from the treehouse.
Yeah.
And actually a bit of an animation mistake there. Ferb's bigger eye is closer to the screen in that shot. Like if you haven't noticed, like his eyesight actually changes depending on which side he's facing towards the camera.
Interesting.
It's like that his big eye, whichever direction his big eye is supposed to be facing away from the camera. Like on the farther side, his farther eye. Like so, if he switches, they would change shape.
Okay.
It's like so, pay attention to how his eyes work next time, and you'll see what I mean.
Right.
It's like, and of course, as you mentioned, we do have what initially just seems like a reprise of my goody two shoes brother. We actually get to see the result of Doofenshmirtz's scheme as he steps out of the building covered in goo.
A little unnecessary. And
all the people running away in fear.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I'd probably run away in fear too. If I just see a guy like his like arms outstretched, covered in pigeon poop?
Yeah. I
mean, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of. I don't really have much of an issue with it as you do. It seems.
Yeah, I mean, imagine this though. Imagine how much funnier this would have been. Vanessa's like, "Oh, Dad, you stink!" Like, come on, Vanessa, hug your father. This is what you get for closing the elevator on me. Hug your father. Kissy, hug your father.
That would have been funny, I guess. Oh well.
All right.
So I guess that closes. So I guess that this week. Megan, do you have any thoughts or opinion? Any more additional thoughts or opinions to share? Or?
The doof abides.
The doof abides. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you all for watching. Thanks to all of you who's going to tune in to watch it later on, and those who actually watched us live. And thanks to Aquatad for commenting. And he did provide an idea for Sandro to cast her in the Gritty reboot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Sandro does have range. So,
I mean, again, Hollywood hasn't woken up yet to this, but we'll get her there. I'm sure we can. I'm sure like Bob Meyer's going to listen to this and he's going to say, you know what? Maybe I should give that Sandro kid a chance. Maybe I will.
He does have a fairly active TikTok and YouTube account, so maybe we could try and get him in on this.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll help Sandro. Yeah, we'll help her not starve to death out there. We'll do it.
It'd be pretty interesting if he actually did end up listening to us.
Yeah, because right now she's on Killing Eve, and she's like, well, not right now, but she's talking to Jodie Comer, saying like, hey, Jodie, man, you getting work? Yeah, you getting any gigs? You need a sidekick? You need anything? Huh? He's like, no, not really, but I'll keep you posted. Okay, well, I'm in the phone book. It's under O. It's Sandra,
Hashtag give Sandro work.
Yeah.
Sandro needs work.
Hashtag oh Sandra. Oh Sandra. Oh Sandra.
Oh god. All right. No, I think that wraps it up. Unless you have anything else to say.
Nope, all good.
All right. Well, join us next week on the Phineas and Ferb Recap-inator, where we actually talk about the first two-part episode, and it's about time too, in which we see Phineas and Ferb explore the past, and we explore Doofenshmirtz and Perry's relationship problems. Good night, everybody.
My goody two-shoes brother.
Brother, the favorite of my mother.